distinguished guests, educators, innovators, and leaders from around the world. Welcome to today's pivotal session of the Bharat Shiksha Sankalp, a webinar dedicated to innovative financing in education, ensuring quality education for all. So this is today's pivotal topic at the Bharat Shiksha Sankalp webinar. I am Abhinav Sharma, your chief moderator, honored to facilitate today's dialogue. Over the next hour, we will dive into discussions that have the power to catalyze transformation in educational access and quality through innovative financial strategies. So let's engage, question, and inspire each other to take collective action. Now, without further ado, let's begin. So first of all, because we have our global audience here, so I'll first speak to them and tell them more about the Bharat Shiksha Sankalp story, that what is Bharat Shiksha Sankalp. So as you know that this is a webinar series, and a month after month, we are doing a successful series of Bharat Shiksha Sankalp webinars. So it's more than just a program. It's a clarion call for revolutionizing education through sustainability and inclusivity. Originating from the heart of India's educational reformation ideas, this initiative stands as a beacon for progressive financing models in education. Financing as a topic is very close to my heart as well, because students nowadays, they are facing some challenges. There are many intelligent students out there or capable students out there who sometimes lose out on great education opportunities because of the financial challenges. So I thought of having this topic discussed today so that we can find innovative solutions to ensure quality education for all. And today we are here to not only discuss this, but also ideate on sustainable and innovative financial strategies that can ensure education is not just a privilege, but a right for every individual across the globe. Now it's my honor to introduce our panelists here. So let's meet our visionary panelists, and each one of them has reshaped the educational landscape. First of all, we have Subarno Bhattacharya. We are honored to have Subarno with us. Subarno is an assistant director and assistant professor at the OP Jindal Global University, which is an institution of eminence. He brings with him an extensive background in academic administration, specializing in digital learning and online education. Subarno's scholarly work as PhD research scholar at VIT Bhopal University, along with his professional endeavors, place him at the intersection of education and innovation. His work in developing and overseeing online education programs is not just about imparting knowledge, it's about creating sustainable and scalable models of education that transcend traditional boundaries. His achievements in educational management and his foresight in the utilization of EdTech set the tone for our discussion today on innovative educational financing. We have Amit Prabhu here. Amit is joining today from overseas. He's joining from Madrid, Spain. Let us welcome Amit. He's the digital transformation lead at the tech giant Accenture based out of Sweden. So Amit stands at the forefront of blending technology with education to drive progress and equity. With a career spanning over a decade, Amit has been pivotal in pioneering digital initiatives that transform learning environments, making quality education more accessible and adaptable to the needs of the digital age. His contribution to digital pedagogy have not only streamlined educational processes, but have also opened avenues for innovative educational financing. And today, Amit will bring his expertise in digital strategy and his vision for a future where every learner has the tools for success at their fingertips. We have Nitin, young Nitin Jain is with us as a panelist. So Nitin is the founder of Spread Smile Foundation, which is an organization that's touching lives and reshaping futures through education. Nitin's commitment to social entrepreneurship and to educational equity has led him to work tirelessly to bridge the educational divide. His foundation's grassroots initiatives in rural education have championed community-based approaches to education financing, ensuring that children from underprivileged backgrounds receive the support and opportunities they deserve. And Nitin's innovative models for community participation in education finance have garnered attention and accolades, proving that change is possible when communities and educators work hand in hand. Let's, after this stellar panel introduction, let's move to our panelists and officially begin our Bharat Shiksha Sankalp discussion rounds. So my first question will be to Subarno. Subarno, considering the diverse education challenges in India, how can institutions leverage digital learning for better financial outreach?
Thanks, Avinav. Thanks, Amit, and thanks, Nitin. I'm audible to each and every individual over here. Well, beyond with this, like to talk about the sustainability in the higher education for the next 20-30 years. There is a diverse change in the education policy. Okay, it has been changed in the National Education Policy 2020 is concerned as per the Indian Higher Education Council is concerned as per the financial outreach of the Indian education sector has been concerned. We have seen a massive change of regarding some of the strategies that should the institution should take place. What we have taken in here at OP General University, Global University, we are an institution of eminence, and also I was worked with ex Manipal and some of the best institution across the country. There will be changes in that regarding the online courses, online seminars, regarding there will be a mobile applications, learning application, collaboration with many other fintech companies, and also there is an integration with social media. We have also seen there is the partnership with very other government institutional, like I like to say, the financial matters is concerned regarding the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana you have been taken care of. That is the engagement of matrices. There is also a possibility of regarding the national strategy for financial education, that is NFSTE and NSFE. These all can be taken care of for making much more upgrade in the financial incentives and services of the student scenario. We have gone through very other students, learners across the country, all from the urban region, rural or semi-urban region. Many of them not received. I would say there will be a two terms of education system, that is the pre-COVID and the post-COVID. When we have seen during the post-COVID scenario, the all the financial institutional model has been totally changed. The changes not from work from home, but also the changes that with the education for each and every individuals across the globe, across the country, across all citizens, to make is accessible design for their inclusivity. Also there will be a teacher training program that's called TTP to make the teachers more upgradable. And also there will be a model that not only helps the students but helps the parents, the alumni, all the stakeholders across the educational institution to make it much more feasible, much more a partnership oriented, and also the community of this online strategy should be taken care of. Avinav, I like to also add on that this type of strategy should adopt not only to the higher education institute but also to the some of the schools, student education, school education institute from ground zero till the higher education of class 12 or K-12 or more than that of UG, PG. Each and every institution to take this place beyond that, because this institution, this type of adaptability is not only taken for the financial strategy but also the students of near future, because we are planning, we are thinking about Viksit Bharat 2047, but still in 2024 we are in also in the verge of traditional knowledge, traditional accessibility which cannot be taken care of. So that's all from my end of enough in this possibilities.
Thank you, Subhanu. No, I definitely accept your suggestion because see, even when I go out and talk to the masses in the education realms, definitely there are challenges at the K-12 level, at the schooling level. There are students, I mean, specifically in India in tier 3, tier 4 cities, when we go out. So financial inclusivity has still not reached here. Forget about edtech, that is like the next step, but financial inclusivity, getting access to quality education, quality resource. Do they have the financial resources to pay for, let's say, external resources to plan for competitive examinations? Definitely a lot of work is pending in those segments. Thank you, Subhanu. I'm moving to co-panelist Amit now. Amit, welcome to the Bharat Shiksha Sankalp webinar session.
Thank you.
Sure, pleasure. And Amit, what are the critical challenges when integrating technology into educational financing, and how can we overcome them?
Okay, Avinav, let me first begin by counter-questioning. And the question is, first of all, why would anyone want to integrate technology into education financing? Let's begin with this question. Let's start with a why. And the answer is, by integrating technology or digital technology, one can achieve three things, or three S. First S is scale, second scope, and third speed. So scale, scope, and speed are the three differentiators that differentiate, in fact, the digital businesses with the traditional ones. So scale, for example, scale implies offering one product or a service to many people. That is scale. We are talking about scale. Scope means offering multiple products or multiple services to a single person. That is scope. And speed means enabling a very fast connectivity or a quick access to many people, a quick access of these products and services to a huge number of people. So scale, scope, and speed. And same is applicable when we talk about the educational financing products or services. So when you leverage digital technologies, you achieve these three different things. I can give an example. If there are, say, multiple education financial products available and we want to reach the masses. So as Subarno said, if we adopt the traditional means, because right now the digital technology adoption is not that much, right, as expected. So we still have the traditional means. But if we are able to adopt the digital technology, then imagine a situation where there are lots of educational or financial products for education. So with the help of this scale, scope, and speed, which is enabled by the digital technologies, we can reach to a huge number of masses. Now let us talk about the challenges. What are the challenges in adopting these digital technologies into education financing? So the challenges remain the same, because there are some generic challenges that you encounter when you adopt these digital transformation technologies. So I would like to address here two types of challenges. First are the technical ones, and second are the non-technical ones. So the common technical challenges are the lack of infrastructure, which a business or a government or any initiative has. Because to adopt the digital transformation technologies on the top, it is very important that you need to have a proper infrastructure that supports. Because if you see all these institutions or businesses, they have lots of legacy IT component in them, which is not yet upgraded or updated to the latest versions. So that's why when you start implementing the digital technology layer on the top, you face a lot of issues. There are issues such as the compatibility issues. So how to overcome them? There have been a lot of initiatives that are happening, such as modernization of the legacy infrastructure. And one example of modernization is that you use cloud. You migrate all your applications onto the cloud, and you also create a cloud enabled platform. So that is one solution that I can think of. Now let us talk about the non-technical challenges, which I think are quite large and quite interesting to tackle. So one very important non-technical challenge is that whenever a new technology is introduced, or if a business or an institution wants to adopt, there is always a cultural resistance or a resistance to change. Because normally people don't want to change. Whenever a new technology comes up, it means that you have to give up your old ways of working and adopt the new process. So most people are not up for that change. So how to overcome this challenge of cultural resistance? The answer is clarity. So there has to be a clear communication to the people who work in your institution or an organization, explaining them what are the benefits, why we are doing this, why we are bringing this new technology, and what is the cause, what is the purpose that it is going to serve. So if there is a clear cause, if there is a clear strategy, then there will be enough motivation among the people or among the employees to adopt a new technology. So just by simple awareness and a good clear communication, I believe one can overcome this problem of change. or this problem of cultural resistance. Second non-technical challenge is that there is a huge skills gap in the talent and gap in the skills. So what has happened, Avinav, over past 1 decade, that these digital transformation technologies have really boomed, and there is a lot of demand which is there in the market, and unfortunately there is not enough supply to meet this demand. So there are a lot of new jobs that are demanding these digital skills, but unfortunately there is not enough supply. So there is a huge talent and skills gap that every organization, every institution is facing. So how to overcome this challenge? The best way to overcome this challenge is to reskill or retrain your employees. I can give an example. For example, AT&T, which is the biggest telecommunications company in the United States, they adopted a program called talent overhauling, where they retrained around 280,000 employees. I mean, it's a massive undertaking, but they reskilled them and they upskilled them just to make them ready to embrace these digital transformation technologies. So that is the solution, how to overcome this skills and talent shortage through reskilling and upskilling. Next very important challenge when we encounter this digital technologies is data and security. Very important challenge, right? Because there have been a lot of talks about data and a lot of talks about securities. So how to overcome them? One must ensure that the technological infrastructure is robust in nature, and it can prevent all the security attacks and all the security threats. It has good mechanisms to cope up and to deal with them. And also, as far as data is concerned, one should also obey or try to understand what are the laws of the land regarding the data, what are the legalities around the data. And with that, we come to the fourth challenge, the regulatory compliance and the legal issues. So one must also understand not only the data, the challenges with the data, but the overall regulatory compliance or the law of the land. What do they say? Because what has happened is that normally how these technologies are implemented is, if you see a success story, for example, in a certain market or in a different country, the same technology is been adopted in a different country. For example, if we see a success of a pilot in India, we can just take them and implement them somewhere in Africa. But what people fail to really understand is that what are the regulatory compliance? Can we just lift and shift? Can we just pick up something from India and take it to Africa? No, we cannot. Because first we need to understand what are the regulatory challenges over there, what are the legal issues. So these challenges often pop up, and one must be aware to make sure that these are well taken care of. Yeah.
Amit, we have lost you. Your connection just froze. If you can hear us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done. Yeah, so.
Your connection actually had frozen for about 10-15 seconds. So we just lost you there. No worries.
Okay.
No, fantastic. I mean, I think we got that, but you touched based on very important challenges actually, but you didn't just mention challenges, but you mentioned very clear and concise solutions to these challenges as well. For example, you mentioned about the technical and non-technical bifurcation. So definitely, I mean, even in India, we see that when at organization level or even at the macro level, we see that the behavior resistance is very high. So whenever you go and try to do something new, or let's say even introduce technology to the regular analog methods, then there is very, very heavy resistance, and that is actually slowing down the progress. And then you mentioned about the 3S, scale, scope, and speed. I think that's a very good narrative that you have set in this discussion. Thank you so much, Amit. I'll come back to you with the next set of questions. Now moving to Nitin. So Nitin, welcome to the webinar. So Nitin, as you work at a grassroots level with a lot of students and I would say, academia. So in your work with the Spread Smile Foundation as a founder, how have you seen that innovative financing has improved education outcomes in rural areas, specifically, let's say, tier 3, tier 4 segment of India?
Yeah. So, hi everyone. It's great to be here with you all. So, as far as my experience in past 5 years, we all know resources, especially monetary resources, are very crucial in providing education to children. We are all witnessing limits of traditional financing, and especially in case of marginalized children. But there are government funds for government schools, and private funds are highly engaged for the communities of privileged society. So, what we do in Spread Smile Foundation, and we have observed that innovative financing like community-based pooling, where communities come together to support each other, mutual aid, helping each other, and donation events like fundraising events, Diwali Mela, and some stalls at various organizations to spread awareness as well as raise funds, has created high impact at hyper-local level. And these are the techniques that can be used at other different places also. And when we involve a community in such projects, it helps us to raise innovative financing. Later on, these funds then are used to procure learning resources, like students who come to Pathshala for education. We help them with educational stationery, school uniform, shoes, getting them enrolled into schools. In these funds are utilized. And I feel like this is the most effective way to raise funds and connect community, as well as it helps to create an impact. With help of these, thousands of children have got education with financial stability. And it's a very sustainable approach. When we work together with the community and look out to people who are there to help us. So that's why community-based pooling is very effective. And in these ways, I have realized that we can go with innovative financing in case of rural education. Many students who are studying and are studied is major because of this innovative financing thing. Earlier, it was very difficult to see that how to make it provide them access to education without funds, because it's very difficult to raise funds in this era. And with these innovative ideas, these are the main three basic ideas like community-based pooling, mutual aid, and donation events are creating highly impact in the society. And these funds have provided education to many children. And I feel like these can be used at different regions, in different contexts also, to mobilize the community and raise funds in innovative ways. And it will give a better way to provide education to students who are coming from marginalized communities. In these ways, we can help and build a future for them.
Thanks, Nitin. I think that you set a very good example. So you are bringing communities together as well. So you are bringing not just, I would say, the financial component, but also you are encouraging collaboration at different levels. So that is just beyond education, because that will be at the societal level. That is what I can understand from what you just mentioned. So we'll explore that as well during later conversation. Subarno, coming to you for next question. So what measures can be taken to ensure that the financial investments in digital education they translate into tangible outcomes? And this is a question because I still feel that digital education in India is still not understood very well. People still go for the traditional in-person education.
Yeah. Thanks, Avinav. Thanks. Over to you regarding the measures that will be taken care of for the tangible outcome of digital education. That is the most measures that will be taken care of. The first thing will be transparency. The second thing will be the accountability. Why I like to say, because the maintaining the transparency and accountability throughout the investment process by a regular of reportings or the progress or the outcomes and also the financial expenditures. We have seen very good organizations, edtech organizations. I will not like to take the name, as you also know. Very top-notch organization are failed Why? Because of their accountability, of their transparency, and also they don't have any clear objectives. Why? Because they don't have any clear objectives, because they are clear, they don't define the clear KPI. What will be the key performance index or indicator? What will be the key responsibility area they will taken care of for this, making this robust? I should say, why I making this robust? Because a robust scaling service. Okay, because we have 140 CR, near about 97 CR are more than 18 plus, near about 20-24 crores of learners across the country are below 18 plus, and they have not any good monitoring, robust monitoring system or a evaluation system. Even some of the institutions should taken care of regarding the capacity building and training. We all know regarding right now the making a good governance in institutional building and capacity of taking this into consideration for the training. Many of the institutions have failed. They have a huge number of investment, they have huge number of money or monetary funds, but they don't want to collaborate with some of the institution to make much more negligible. There should be some continuous improvement. Listen, one day you Oxford or Cambridge, this top-notch university cannot make a one day. Okay, they have taken a huge number of years to contribute their contribution regarding their continuous improvement. Okay, there will be also a 360 degree of feedback chain mechanism across all the stakeholders, from students, alumni. I already shared regarding what they do, what will be the most taken care of the sustainability of their planning. Okay, people talk about sustainable development goals, ESG, everything, but their motivation towards the goals in a ground zero level, I should say, that is not expectable. Okay, as of now, I've seen many of the sustainable plans across many of the institutions. They called me and we had a brief discussion regarding that what will be the future of this sustainable energy or sustainable education 5.0. That is the 5th generation of sustainability of the higher education. So I generally spoke to them that there should be a clear vision of their partnership and collaboration. The agencies who are there in collaborating, they should taken care of a baseline assessment, okay, and the benchmarking. There will be a clarification of the baseline and benchmarking regarding what will be taken care of the establishment of the standards. The people nowadays having a financial investment model, but without the capacity building, without the baseline assessment, and also the benchmarking for making much more upgradation in the standard of the training, standard of the policy, standard of the procurement, standard of the education. They need much more data-driven policy. Okay, their transparency should be clarified. They should be taken care of all the investment who have been invested, and obviously I would share that nowadays many of the institutional leaders, they would say that I invest today 1 rupee, tomorrow you have to give 2 rupees. That impossible. Okay, so for a financial investment, you have to be taken care some of the times at least for 5 years. Because if you invest for 5 years, I assure for the next 15, 20, 35 years, you will get the return on investment. Okay, so that's the transparency and monitoring policy which should be accountable to each account holders to maintain this tangible outcome for this digital education. That's all, Abhinav.
Thank you so much. You mentioned about sustainability for education, so I just want to touch base on that as well, because the previous Bharat Shiksha Sankalp session, the one prior to this, that was only on sustainability and initiatives of sustainability for education in India, and there we had an expert who had come from Niti Aayog, and we did discuss that what initiatives Niti Aayog or organizations like Niti Aayog are taking to have sustainable education initiatives get successful in India. So definitely I can speak more on that, but there's a constraint of time. Moving to Amit, but very good insights and points, Subarno. So Amit, from your experience, can you share an example where digital transformation led to a sustainable education model, particularly in terms of financing, specifically?
Yes, Avinav. So I would like to answer this question in 3 parts. In the first part, let us try to talk about digital transformation and try to understand the digital landscape. What do we mean by that? In the the next part, we will try to understand the impact of digital transformation in the educational domain. And in the third part, we'll talk about the financing. Okay, so let's start with digital transformation. And I would really like to begin with the basic definition of digital transformation, because it is open to lots of interpretations and ambiguities when we try to define what is digital transformation. So the definition is very simple. It is a new way of doing business with the help of latest emerging digital technologies. And when I say latest emerging digital technologies, I mean technologies such as AI, automation, 5G, IoT, blockchain, cloud, data, all these technologies, you name them. So if these technologies are bringing a change or a transformation in the ways of working and doing business, then we can say it is digital transformation. So this digital transformation has impacted all the industries, also the education industries. So it has changed the digital landscape in an education industry. So when I talk about digital landscape, I want to address three key players in a digital landscape. They are first, front runners, second, entrepreneurs, and third, incumbents. So who are the front runners? So front runners are these 5 top companies, and if you see their market capitalization, they have a huge market cap in terms of trillions of US dollars. And I think it's an obvious choice, it's an obvious answer. We know who are the top 5 technical giants: Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta or Facebook. So these are called the digital front runners. Why they are called front runners? Because they have impacted not only education but every industry. I mean, you can, for example, take case of say media. How has Facebook or Meta impacted by an application called Facebook Live? How has Google impacted media through YouTube, right? Also, these 5 digital frontrunners have impacted education. Google has its Google Education, Microsoft has Microsoft Education, Amazon or AWS, they have so many educational webinars and so many educational products and services which are also offered free of cost. Even Apple, even Microsoft or Meta, everyone has embarked on the educational journey. So these are the front runners because they impact not only in the educational domain but across all the industries. Then we move to the entrepreneurs. So who are the entrepreneurs in the educational domain? The entrepreneurs are Udemy, Coursera, Udacity or Khan Academy, even Byju's. Even I can say Byju's as entrepreneur, okay, because it has still not become incumbent, a business incumbent, which is the third set of player. The third are the incumbents. So first are the front runners, then the entrepreneurs, and third are the incumbents. And who are the incumbents? Incumbents are those businesses or institutions who have been traditionally in an industry for at least more than 4 to 5 decades. And when I say the educational incumbents, we think about Harvard, then MIT, Stanford, Oxford, the IITs. All these are the educational incumbents. So these are the key players in the educational industry. And also, if you see, because of this digital technologies, the rules of the game in the educational sector have changed. So initially, and I would like to really highlight 3 key changes. So initially, the education was mostly classroom based, right? It was just confined to the walls of the classroom and it was like classroom based. But now we have blended education, which is a combination of classroom education plus online education. And the pandemic really saw a large boost in the online education. So now the education has moved from classroom towards blended. Also, the education was earlier unidirectional. It used to flow in one direction from faculty to the students. But now the dynamics have changed. It is flowing from faculty to students, yes, agreed. But in addition to that, even students are educating themselves through various knowledge boards, forums, and educational collaboration platform. And also it is flowing from faculty to faculty. Because a faculty in a certain part of the world, through a technology, they are being able to connect to the different faculties and they share that how and the technology has enabled them to come together and share and discuss and work on some common initiatives. And the third part of the education, which was earlier, it was confined to a certain university and a certain institution. But now the education is open. So, which means anyone from any part of the world can access education from any university. So, anyone can take a course from Harvard or MIT or IIT. That person doesn't have to be a student at these institutions. So, this is how the education landscape has changed. And because of that, now we come to the third part. Even there are lots of financing options available. Once you have this education open and digital, naturally the financing options will also follow. So, which means there are like multiple, say, loans or any of these facilities which are available to the different students, not only in a particular city or a location, but across a nation or even across the globe. So, for example, if I see a course which I want to really say take, but as a student I don't have money, then immediately there might be some financial options or loan options popping up. That hey, we offer financing, we offer you this and that. So so this is an example of a sustainable model in terms of financing that I can think. But then there has to be a lot of work done in the area of financing to make sure that all the different financial products and services, the reliable one, the trusted one, as Subarno said, they are curated well and they are being made accessible to the students, and especially the unprivileged or underprivileged students. So I believe a lot of work has to be done in the financing part. But we have already seen how the landscape has transformed with the help of this technology.
Thank you, Amit. For sure, I think we all agree that the landscape in the last, I think COVID has been a great accelerator. It has been a catalyst, and COVID saw every classroom turn into a virtual classroom. So I think from the post-COVID era, we have definitely seen remarkable changes in the education landscape, but definitely financing as a component still, because I work with a lot of financial solutions provider here at this platform as well. So I know that they are also struggling, because just to give you an example, the education loan market in India is probably 1.5 lakh crore rupee market, but still does that even cover 5% or 10% of the entire population's need? No, it doesn't. It's just like a tip of the iceberg kind of a thing, even with that massive chunk. So financing has still not reached to that pinnacle. Reforms, definitely education reforms, as you mentioned, the digital transformation has happened. So correct. I mean, great points. Again, a very well curated answer. Moving on to Nitin now. Nitin, what role do you believe that public-private partnerships they play in financing education for marginalized communities? I'm sure you work with a lot of organizations that are public, but they are contributing to a private cause as well.
Yeah. Okay. So when it's come about public-private partnerships, it brings a kind of hope and brings multiple opportunities. So private sector can act as a necessary support for the public sector to bring quality education, especially for the marginalized communities. There are multiple ways in which private sector can aid for the education of marginalized communities. Like if we name few, like private citizens can adopt a child education for a year or 2 years or up to some grade. That is one way. Another way could be private sector can provide their funds as a part of CSR initiatives. CSR is the major thing in the companies that is growing these days. And many private companies have started collaborating with having public partnerships for the same. CSR funds are highly being utilized for creating impact in the society. And this is another way we can connect a private-public partnership. And another thing could be private sector can also take itself the responsibility of providing education to children, like private tutoring, providing educational resources. These may be non-monetary method of financing, and it is non-traditional, but it is effective. We have also experienced in our Spreadsmell Foundation. When we teach students, and from past 5 years we are providing education. Currently also 500 students are being provided with learning aids on daily basis. They are being providing learning resources, engaging them into extracurricular activities. It's not about just formal learning, but playful learning also. And we believe we provide educational aid to them in this way. And private and public partnerships can also come ahead more to support this cause. When both of the public and private partnership comes together, then impact can be created at larger level. As organizations usually lack funds, but they are good at creating work, supporting the cause. So when private partnerships come forward to support, it becomes more easy for public organizations to work and create larger impact. So in these few ways, we can work with public-private partnerships, and together we can create an impact. Because not only private companies can create impact, neither solely public companies. So when both of them comes together, public and private, it brings more of a hope, more impact, and more of a motivation to work for the society. And this is the best way in which they can finance education for the marginalized communities. And these are the three best tools which we have experienced, like adoption of a child education, providing CSR funds, or private tutoring. These all can be used at a very global level also, and at smaller level also, and in any ways, like very effective tools. So I feel like in these ways, public and private partnerships can come forward.
Okay. And I particularly support that point as well, Niti, because I believe that the corporate giants or the venture capitalists or big fund houses definitely can bring a momentous change in the Indian education system by providing and promoting these financial opportunities. Because as you mentioned, the public organizations, or let's say even the government schemes that we see, sometimes they don't reach to the last mile of execution because of financing challenges. So if the corporates come together, definitely they can extend a last mile coverage to these initiatives for sure, to bring a collective societal impact.
Yeah.
Now we are moving to the last segment of our questions, and I request our audience as well, if you have any questions for our panelists, please use the Q&A section to drop your queries. We'll be more than happy to take them. Subarno, final question to you. From your experience, what are the key elements in creating a successful financial model for online education platforms in specific?
Well, Avinav, that's a very quickie and a trickable question for me, because for the last 3.5 and 4 years on being in the online education, digital learning, blended learning, and also the implementation, the basic implementation at COVID-19, we started with ex-Manipal, where my ex-employer was there. So there will be a customer lifetime value, I should say. Why? When I just spoke customer, that means the learners, the students, the main stakeability of the students, the male stakeholders. There will be a focus on maximizing the customer lifetime, their value, their investment in times, their relationships between the edtech, between the faculties, between the stakeholders, between any ongoing value. There should be a scalability. I will take in from Amit the word scale from 3S, from that is scope. The one will be a scalability, Amit, okay? Because scalability and efficiency will be making much more proficient and designed financial model, which will be cost effective to each learners. Listen, education cannot be free, okay? We cannot say anything cannot be free. There should be some investments and also some administrative sources, administrative ongoing recurring problem, regarding more data, regarding content creation, all have some of the incomes. Because right now many have said, regarding Nitin has said that there will be a PPP mode, CSR model. Institution, the government of India is establishing a huge investment under this PM Modi is concerned, that all the training should be a B2B service or a B2C service. All the partnership should be collaborate with the direct government funds, direct partnership with some of the Niti Aayog, as said by Avinav also. We have seen various open access subscription plan for all the students, We have also implemented this, check that very implementation regarding Coursera giving free of cost to the students without any money, totally financial aid. We have seen many freemium. Okay, you have heard about the word freemium. Why it says a freemium model? Freemium model is a model which gives a content free, gives a course free management process. Okay, it's in advanced stage. Okay, I should say that is the tools giving in advanced state, but there will be a MIUM, that is a choose plan for the educational institute to give the students that how much amount he or she can take care of. Obviously, the content monetization by the faculties should be taken care of, that what will be the future scope. Listen, now we are working on the traditional model as of now, and I am guaranteed that very few of the institution will taken care of the online program. Okay, because there it's nothing regarding the upscaling, or I should say the cross selling. It's regarding just for us token of numbers, like 2000 numbers or 3000 numbers. But this is not a scalability will be near about lakhs of the students. Scalability will be near about lakhs of subscriptions from the students, and a continuous optimization, because we know that customer acquisition cost is very high as of now. As per the freelance, as per the that online program, online platform is concerned, the elements of the customer acquisition cost is too much high. The students, the faculties, or the concerned investors should take a pricing strategy that, yeah, I will invest on what 5 rupees of amount to a particular content, and the total number of learners for today it will be 5, but I think tomorrow it will be 500 or 5000. Though this is the scalability, this is the efficiency they have to invest of the particular trends. And I to assure Avinav that in the successful 2030, that is, we all are about the sustainable development goals, and there will is one SDG, that is educational for all. I assure that 90%, about 80 to 90% of the institution across the country or across the globe will give benefits of the education to all the underprivileged, privileged, and to some of any few of the employees to the nations.
Yeah, you touched base upon the UN just a moment ago. You touched base on the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So just want to share as well with you, my co-panelists, as well as the global audience, that we as a platform, we work very closely with the United Nations. So we are working on supporting all the leading SDGs, not just education. So Bharat Shiksha Sankalp as a platform and Eduverse Summit as a platform has a very close collaboration going on to work on projects coming directly from United Nations support. So we are working in that direction as well. And yes, you mentioned about scalability. Absolutely, I agree. And that's what I was mentioning as well, that even though the size of the digital market or the online education market has grown, but I don't think that that's probably not even 10% of the total market share or the potential that it can have. And you mentioned on the CAC as well, the customer acquisition cost. So I personally work in that domain as well. So I know that right now, to get that one single lead that has the potential to get converted into a student who is genuinely going to take up your program, that's very, very astronomically high for sure. So I think these are the grassroots level challenges for sure for corporates as well, and a lot of learning still remains. Thank you, Subarnu. Coming quickly to Amit, a quick 3-minute answer. In your opinion, how can digital platforms aid in the transparency and accountability to education financing?
Yes, digital platforms can play a very important role in imparting transparency and accountability. And I have listed 8 key benefits. So first, which means all the stakeholders, including students, parents, educators, policy makers,
We are not able to hear you. Nitin, I'm quickly coming to you. We'll then reconnect with Amit.
Okay.
So, Nitin, according to you, how can grassroots organizations like your... Yeah, I think that will... So Nitin, quickly, if you can answer that, how can grassroots organizations like yourself influence the global financing trends in education? You quoted some examples in your earlier answer, but happy to know more.
Yeah. So one primary way in which grassroots organizations can influence global financing trends is through education. In sector of education is through advocacy and awareness. Grassroots organizations work with marginalized children, often have a large community base, and we all know how to mobilize the community at a collective level for advocacy and discourse. Community is such a strong thing for grassroots organizations that can help you create the influence at a global level. Another way can be when organizations can affect global trends is by piloting innovative financing models at a local level. For example, Spreadsmell Foundation has piloted community-based funding methods and mutual aids in their different branches at Delhi, Noida, Chandigarh, Mohali, Ghaziabad. These are the different ways in which grassroots organizations can highly influence global financing. And we provide evidence. This way, we can also provide evidence for efficacy of such methods for the larger global community to adapt them and adopt them. And I feel community is a very strong base for this, and we can work more to mobilize them to create a global financing trends in education.
Amit, are we able to hear us?
Yeah. Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, visible. Please continue your answer, Amit.
Yes.
We just lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there is a glitch. Yeah, apologies for that. So your question was, I think it's a very valid question. How can digital platforms aid in offering transparent and accountable education, right? That was the question. So I have listed 8 key benefits of using a digital platform. So the first benefit is that it can provide transparency. So which means all the stakeholders, including the students, parents, educators, policymaker, will have a clear visibility and transparency of the funds. From where are the educational funds coming? Where are they getting channelized? Who is using and who is keeping tabs on them? So there will be a clear accountability and finance and transparency around it. Second benefit is that we can do something known as a real-time monitoring or tracking. So funds can be can be tracked and monitored in real time. So how they are being utilized now. Third is that we can also a digital platform or a technology can also enable something known as a data visualization and analytics. So with the help of these, you can create some reports, charts, graphs, infographics, which can help in better communication. Fourth important benefit is that it will be much easier to document, because you have to document for some auditing and for some accounting reasons. So the use of digital platforms will help you document these things, these funds. Fifth and a very important point is that it can enable data democratization. So if there is something that you really want to spread out and let the public and the common masses know, so education platform can really help you broadcast that message through a feature called data democratization. So you can really so the outreach will be like enormous. Next point is that it can enable a secured and encrypted transaction. So adding credibility and trust and faith among both the parties. So that security mechanisms can be offered by digital platform. Another benefit is that the digital platforms can incorporate a feedback mechanism. So the beneficiaries of this education, they can give a feedback and explaining their satisfaction level. Are they really satisfied with how they are being treated and the kind of funds they are received? Are these funds really helping them or contributing to their benefit? So there will be a feedback mechanism established. And last but not the least, it will be much easier to manage the compliance as well as the risk monitoring with the help of these digital platforms.
Thank you so
Okay.
thank you so much, Amit. I think those are very well crafted 8 points, specifically the transparency and the compliance part, because that's where I believe most of the organizations that work in this domain they fail providing transparency to their clients or customer students, and then being compliant with. We are just 5 minutes short, so I think quickly, if I can have 1 minute of closing remarks from my co-panelists. So first of all, let's start with Subarno. Quick 1 minute closing remarks for the global audience.
Well, I'd like to share thanks Avina for giving us the opportunity to share with the global audience across the globe. That will be just, I like to share that education is for everyone. Enjoy the moments, enjoy each and every streamline of the content, course, everything. But there will be just one financial sector, I should say, to every educators, every investors in the financial education institute, that there will be a transparency and also the accountability in each and every individuals. Okay, that will be clarify the scalability also and the efficiency of each every individuals for their investment, their partnerships, their upskills, their cross sellings, each and everything that has been taken care of. That's all from my end.
Thank you, Subarno. Amit, over to you.
Yes, I completely echo with what Subarno has said, but just one point that I need to enable or to achieve scale. It's very important that we need to invest in technological infrastructure, enough funds allocated to upgrade your technology, the underlying technology. That will be the key in spreading the education to the masses.
Sure. Nitin?
Yeah, I would just like to add, like, everyone should commit to support education and realize the importance of financing education. Like this, we can make our world better and helpful for everyone.
For sure. Thank you all. Thank you, Subarno. Thank you, Amit. And thank you, Nitin. So as we close today's session, I extend my deepest gratitude to our distinguished panelists for their insightful contributions. And my thanks also goes to each participant out there for engaging in this critical conversation. So these insights, they will be available on our Bharat Shiksha Sankalp website as well as on our digital platforms. So let's conclude, and as we part ways, let's carry the torch of innovation in financing education further into the world. Let us be the pioneers in making quality education accessible for all, and keep the conversation going. Share the insights you have gained today, and let's reconvene with even more to share at the next session of Bharat Shiksha Sankalp. Thank you, and let's continue to be the change makers in this world of education. Thank you, Subarno. Thank you, Amit. Thank you,
Thanks,
Nitin,
Avina.
once
Thanks,
again.
Nitin.
Thanks
Amit.
everyone for your time.